Some people call this the Springfield M1A Tanker, but I just call it the ultimate gilf gun. Inspired by the misnamed Tanker T-26 Garand, the short version, that's a solid pun by the way, is that during World War II, airborne units were in need of something smaller than a long boy Garand, but more powerful than an M1 carbine. Springfield made the M1E5 rifle by adding a folding stock to the M1 Garand, circumcising the barrel to 18 inches, and shortening the op rod. Overall length was reduced by about 6 inches, and it weighed 1.5 pounds less than your standard M1 Garand. Oh, and it was a piece of shit, and everyone hated shooting it because it was very loud and kicky. They tried again with the same gun, but they used a fixed wood stock this time, and they called it the T-26. During testing, they got nearly the same results as the M1E5, unsurprisingly. According to the Aberdeen Proving Ground report from 1945, the T-26 generated 80% more flash and noticeably heavier recoil than the standard M1 Garand. They still ordered thousands of the T-26 anyways, but the war ended before the order was filled. Only 1 or 2 were ever made. But in the 1960s, with surplus parts aplenty, enterprising manufacturers began making shortened Garands and erroneously calling them tankers, as the T-26 was never intended for tank crews. I assume that those commercial T-26s also sucked butt to shoot. So why would Springfield try to relaunch a gun that was one big Garand pile of dog shit? I have never much cared for the M14 or the M1A. They're big, they're heavy, they're old. Sure, they can be faster than a bolt action and almost as accurate, and they can be reliable, but they're heavy as shit. Mounting optics and accessories is harder than algebra. But you know who loves the M14? Your tactical uncle Clint. Clint Smith, Big Papa at Thunder Ranch, huge M14 guy. I went to Thunder Ranch for a 3-day advanced defensive pistol course using the Springfield Echelon, and that video is coming out soon, and it's really interesting, trust me. It's important for me to tell you that Springfield paid for my plane ticket to Thunder Ranch to take that 3-day pistol course with the Echelon, just in case you think that a plane ticket has any bearing on my judgment in this video. But if you've been watching TFBTV long enough, you probably realize that a Southwest plane ticket is not going to make any difference in my opinion, but we value transparency around here at TFBTV, so there it is. I figured while I was at the ranch for the Echelon, I may as well ask Springfield, hey, do you guys have like a neat M1A rifle? Because Clint gets so pumped about them. And it's fun to watch him get riled up about something, especially as a guy who deals with guns all the time. I actually love the aesthetic of the M1A Tanker, plus Sam at the Firearm Blog already gave it a super positive review back in 2020, so I asked him for a review gun. Clint and I opened it together. I swear to God, it was like Christmas for Clint.
This is the rifle I grew up on. Like, when I was in the Marine Corps, this is what we qualified with, shot with, all that. Okay, cool.
He was thrilled with the Tanker, at least the looks of it. He didn't really care for the shorter barrel and the muzzle brake.
I don't know what happened to the front end, but apparently somebody cut their wee-wee off, okay? And I'm pretty sure, not knowing what I know about this is going to be loud as a bitch. Yeah.
But almost immediately, he was staring at this walnut stock like it was a set of greased up tits. And I honestly can't blame him. The stock that comes with the Tanker is absolutely gorgeous. And this is from a guy who, I don't even like wood stocks. Before I even shot the gun, Clint goes over to his cabinet and breaks out this vegetable oil stuff that he puts on his old wood buttstocks. And he started rubbing it into the Tanker like it was coconut lotion on 1995 Yasmin Bleeth. And this is totally without me asking, so it was hysterical to see him fawn over this stock. This is just a couple days ago. And I thought he was gonna cry when he checks out Springfield's webpage and he couldn't find this stock for sale. I'm not kidding, I came in there the day after we shot it, and Clint already had it on his personal M14 without asking me. It was funny as shit, like he loved this stock. I got Clint to give me his initial take on the M1A Tanker and the M1A generally on camera.
The M1A, what do people think about that? Well, bluntly, I grew up on this rifle in 1967, and I have the scorebook to prove it. It's what I qualified with in the Marine Corps. I carried one for a little while in Vietnam, and to be honest with you, they were heavy. and someone gave me an M79 to replace it, so I thought that was a pretty fair trade. Absolutely an accurate rifle, and you were scrolling through the logbook and saw that, you know, in those days we shot 500 and prone and all the way back in. Gun's heavy, gun's effective, gun shoots through stuff. I like the gun. They have excellent triggers across the board. This version shows wood, by the way, good wood, okay, like smoking hot good wood. Like you may never see that stock again, good wood. But that said, we went through the wood part, and I believe that they started having issues with them cracking and splitting in triple canopy jungle. So they went to that brown sort of fiberglass one. It also took maybe some weight off of it compared to the wood gun. But sights are good, sights are on. People don't understand this a lot, okay, and they take it off. But the slotted groove was designed that when the gun shot empty, the ammunition that came didn't come like in 10-round strippers like we know the AR or platform. So this had 5-round strippers. You could stick it. This is a clip slot. You slide it in and shove it in. So it's an interesting combination. It takes us away from the Garand because it doesn't have 8 rounds. It has potential for 20 or 30 based on the magazine. And but it still loads through the top. So it has the idiosyncrasy of like an 03 Springfield, which you can stripper clip it through the top. So definitely old school. The reason it's not really a success, in my opinion, because this is the shortest service life rifle we had.
Right.
I think it's because in today's world we want to hang junk on a gun. Okay, no, we need an IR, we need a D-ball, we need a scope. So it's not what I would call a perfect precision rifle. It's hard to beat this gun up for me because they work. A version that doesn't work, okay, full auto. Okay, it's too light. They tried to make this gun a Garand and a BAR, and it's not going to do that. Single fire, it can still be rapid. This version, I got it. I understand what they're doing. They're appealing to the marketplace, and you know how that is because you deal with the market every day where I don't. Personally, I would like to have the rest of the barrel, okay? And people go like, well, this is more compact. Yeah, I got all that. It's also going to blow the crap out of your ears when you shoot the gun because it's got 12,000 holes in the end. Do I need a bayonet lug? No, that's why I got a rifle. But I'm not beating it up. I like the gun. It's very compact. I got it. I think that if I was working in today's world, what I understand about it, because I'm a little old, so I don't work in today's world, but most people are wearing helmets now. Most people have ear pro comm in, so you can shoot the gun without blowing yourself up, like in the sense of your hearing. But I think for a regular layperson like me using this gun for home defense, if I shot it in the hallway, I think it's going to rock the world, okay? This would be a bitch, okay, like in a good way, if you were in the Ukraine. I mean, if you were clearing buildings, this gun would be a bitch. I'd want to wear ear pro, but it doesn't shoot stuff. It shoots through stuff to get to stuff, which is why they were popular. Like Marines liked them because they would shoot through trees and everything. 308 is still one of the single most popular calibers in the world.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's a great
I'm
point.
always looking, how do I feed this thing?
Right.
I would stick with 308, but then again, maybe no one gives a shit what I think. But
myself, I wasn't expecting much, but when I initially shouldered the gun, I was actually pretty floored with how well balanced it was compared to a regular M1A or the M1A loaded with the Archangel stock that I brought last time I was at Thunder Ranch. This gun not only looked good, but it felt good. If it's anything like the T26 though, even Clint felt like it was really gonna suck to shoot. Now, before we take it to the range, let's talk about the specs. This is a Parkerized 308 Springfield M1A rifle with a 16.25-inch barrel, a match grade 2-stage trigger that's really good, and an overall length of 37.25 inches, a 1/4 inch shorter than the M1E5 of yore, and only about 3 inches longer than a civilian M4 rifle. The walnut stock should be called the James Reeves edition stock because it's really, really ridiculously good looking with a firm alloy butt plate that flips up and you can put it on your shoulder for extra stability. It's got a standard rear sight, the standard M1A rear sight, right? And an interesting tritium XS front sight that I'll talk about in a sec. I didn't expect that the Tanker would be 10 ounces lighter than the standard M1A. I actually thought it was going to be even lighter than that. But the excellent balance of the Tanker might actually trick you into believing that it's much skinnier than its big brother whenever you bring it to your shoulder. For that matter, at 9.2 pounds, this gun with a wood stock, still a bit chubby, but less than a pound heavier than most like 8.5-pound AR-10s. My impressions of the rifle were good so far, so myself, Jack Daniel, the head instructor at Thunder Ranch, and Ryan all took the Tanker to the Adam Brown long distance range on the ranch, which has these standing 5-foot 8-inch tall men at every 100-yard interval out to 700 yards. And we steeled our B-holes for the T-26 beating we were about to take, and we let the first shots go. I'm gonna pause here, and I'm gonna say that the recoil was almost pleasant. You know, you can just dump this thing and you stay level. Did that look good, Ryan? I mean, it felt pretty good. Yeah. That cheese grater brake must actually work, that in the wood stock. Look at this clip. I'm shooting it one-handed at a man-sized target at 50 yards. The two most surprising things, I think, about the M1A Tanker that we have learned this week at Thunder Ranch is light recoiling, and the balance is actually surprisingly good. Oh! Got him. 50 yards on the 5.8 man. Wow. Great demonstration of the balance and the manageable recoil from this rifle. I was super surprised. It was probably easier to shoot than my FAL, which I love, and certainly lighter on the old teat than any G3 or HK91 I've ever shot. On top of that, Jack and Ryan were making hits at 700 yards with the iron sights. Impact. Oh, that was a hit.
Yeah, I heard it.
God damn. So I stretched it out to 400 yards with irons.
One more. Good.
But there were two issues for me beyond that. One, the XS tritium front sight is easy to pick up, but it's also double the width of the National Match Blade that comes on most of the other M1A rifles, meaning that you're easily covering your target just at a few hundred yards. Two, I have uncorrected astigmatism. Totally lame, I know. I couldn't see shit past 500 yards with irons, but that didn't stop eagle-eyed Ryan and Jack from busting up the 600 and 700-yard steel targets, which was super impressive. In short, gun looks good, feels good, shoots good. This is actually going to be the first time that I ever buy an M1A. When this video wraps, I'm emailing Springfield to get my T&E price on this gun, and I'm probably gonna buy it. I guess I kind of have to. I'll explain why in a second. Reliability's there also. I've used two M1As at Thunder Ranch, never had one failure with guns themselves. Accessories, different story. Springfield claims that they have an M1A that burned down 15,000 rounds in just 5 days without an issue. If you're familiar with the M1A operating system, you probably aren't too surprised to hear that the M1A can accomplish that level of reliability. Also, the gun's just 3 inches longer than an M4 while being 308 instead of 223, so it's even practical as an urban rifle or a home defense choice. Maybe it's just the free plane ticket talking here, but between the looks, the maneuverability, and the performance of the Tanker, I thought this gun was pretty badass, so I think I'm keeping it for now. And this is actually going to go down, this video, as a James Reeves official buy rec, because I think that anyone who buys this gun would probably enjoy it if it's what you're looking for, right? A 308. Owners, M1A Tanker owners, please sound off in the comments. Let me know if I'm right on this or not. But I'm giving this gun a go if you want a 16-inch 308 that isn't an AR-10. If you have one already, please tell me what you think of it in the comments. Help out your fellow viewers. I hope to God I'm right, because I don't like disappointing the viewers who place their trust in me to give these kinds of recommendations. Don't get me wrong, there are some negatives. Let's start with the smaller ones, work our way up. Number one, this gun has an MSRP just shy of $2,000, but a street price of $1,700 to $1,800, which still isn't cheap. If you're talking about a not shitty non-AR-10, I guess this is ballpark, but on the high end. Actual price on a PTR 91, $1,100. Zastava M77, $1,300. Cheapest FAL from DSA, about $1,500. The standard M1A is about $1,500 too. Street price on a Tavor 7, $2,000. And we're sitting here with a Tanker at about $1,800. So yeah, that's a lot of money, but relative to other premium or boutique non-AR-10 308s, it's somewhat above average. Hell, a Sig Tread 308 is over $1,500. Number two, and this one's kind of interesting, I thought I was going to be able to butt blast the Tanker for having crappy ballistics, but as a guy who only owns a couple of 308s right now, I was pretty surprised to find out that the difference between the velocity of a 150 grain 308 round in a 22-inch barrel versus a 16.5-inch barrel is only about 150 or 200 feet per second, which translates to about a 15% reduction in muzzle energy and only an additional 9-inch drop at 500 yards. Now that's from rifleshooter.com, but I did find something on American Rifleman that said it's a scale of about 150 feet per second on the low end, while closer to 400 feet per second on the high end if you're looking at a 22-inch versus 16-inch. The takeaway here is that the 16-inch gun is obviously going to have less muzzle energy and less range than the 22-inch version, but damn, if I'm saving 10 ounces of weight and 6 or 7 inches of gun, I can live with that 10 to 15% compromise. The big one though, mounting an optic on an M1A straight up sucks pee-pee. Whether it's the M1A or the Mini 14 or the M14 or whatever, and this is a significant negative because you really want that 308 to stretch it out. Springfield makes an optic mount, but if you remember from a couple of years ago, I broke it when I was reviewing the M1A loaded during a Thunder Ranch counter sniper course. The ranch tends to do that, you know, break stuff. I know that there are acceptable mounting solutions, there have to be, out there, and I guess I'm gonna have to figure that out for myself. The M1A can be a very, very accurate platform with a powerful round, so you hate to kind of hamstring it with poor optics mounting capability. It's like dating a model who smokes Marlboros or watches Real Housewives. Potential deal breaker. And my problems continue to mount because there was one more thing I had to do with the M1A Tanker before I left Thunder Ranch. When I brought the M1A Tanker here and I opened it up with Clint, we both looked at it for the first time. Clint fell in love with the furniture and he joked around about stealing the stock because he absolutely loves it. Now I agree, it is stunning. Like it is I don't like wood guns all that much. This is gorgeous. And then he actually asked me, and Frank, he's like, do you think like maybe you could talk to Springfield, maybe they'll sell me one or something like that? And I was like, oh no, we'll see what we can do, Clint, because he wants to put that stock on this rifle. But many of you know I really love Clint like a father. I'm just gonna buy this rifle from Springfield, I hope, because they haven't told me if they're gonna even sell it to me. So what we're gonna do is we'll demonstrate how easy it is to swap furniture. We might need a screwdriver for this part, but how easy it is to swap furniture in the M1A. You pop the trigger guard forward like this, trigger pack comes out, that easy. There's the complete operating system. Stock, trigger pack, magazine. Those are like your four major, super easy to field strip. Happy birthday, Clint, for your 97th birthday. So that means as we sit here today, I have a barreled action and a trigger pack right now. I would like to build this M1A Tanker up into a really nice 308 urban rifle. I'm still a novice in the M14 world, so I'd love to hear your feedback in the comments. What am I doing for stock, optics mounting, flashlight, anything else, whatever you guys think. I really need help from you M14, M1A guys. In the comments, I will make a follow-up video after I look at all this feedback, calculate it, and build out this tanker, which doesn't have a stock now. Thanks, Clint. Guys, thank you for watching as usual. Thank you to Ventura Munitions. They sent all the ammo that we used in this video. Thank you to Thunder Ranch for hosting us at no charge. And thank you, of course, to Top Gun Supply, your online shooting sports superstore. Make sure to check them out if you need an M1A or mags. But again, thank you very much for watching. I love you. Goodbye.